G'day guys, this is Rick from Tips and Ratings. Just thought we'd do a preview of the Easter Cup tomorrow at Caulfield where we're betting. Looks a good day of racing there. The weather is in good order, and we expect that the track will be in good order also. So unfortunately up in Sydney it's been a bit wet again, as it tends to be every year, and could make for a bit of a tricky day. So we're sort of pretty happy just to avoid Sydney for the time being, and we'll concentrate on Caulfield, where we hope that everything goes well. So we'll just start with the cleaner. Look, I'd expect this horse will lead. He obviously ran quite well in the Australia Cup. He set a blistering speed. He went bananas up front, and he actually held on quite well to only lose by 2.4 lengths. And I thought it was a really gallant effort. We've obviously seen a lot of horses come through that race, and they haven't really done anything. They've failed, probably because they've still felt, the effects somewhat of that run. And then we've had other horses that have come out and ran quite well. So I thought Axar ran, well enough last week, and certainly Protectionist looked like he's still heading in the right direction. So look, the query with him is, can he repeat the effort? History sort of shows with this horse that when he has 3 weeks between runs, he generally can. He has sort of gone around that hard before and been able to back it up. So 3 weeks between runs, I think that he's certainly going to be right in the finish here, and he's certainly probably going to go bananas again out in front. So I think around $3 is about right. I could probably have him. I got him $3, say call it $3.30. I could easily have him a little bit shorter than that, or we'll just wait and see. Onto Sartorius. I thought this horse was good first up. He obviously sprinted well late to chase down Suavito, and he was unable to sort of just get there. We have obviously seen Cuprum come through that race and win well up in Sydney, and I think this horse is going quite well. He's obviously a nice horse. The little query with him though is was the Albury Cup. Sorry for Cuprum. The little query with Sartorius, so for me, is just his fitness. Certainly, the fact that we're expecting that the cleaner's going to do what he does and go quite hard. And that Sartorius is coming off one run, and was quite a soft run at that. So, just a little bit of a query with him about how he's going to handle the pressure throughout the race. But certainly going well on our second top rater. On to Jacqueline Obey. This horse is deep into his campaign. It's hard to get too enthusiastic about him. He comes through the same race as Sartorius, and Escardo, and Shoreham, and they basically all beat him home, and they appear to have more upside. Certainly he's very fit, so if we take a line back to Extra Zero in the Australia Cup, it can certainly show what fit horses can do when the pressure's on. But you could certainly make a case for him if it was probably over a little bit shorter, but just out to 2,000 metres, I think it's just going to be a little bit too hard for him tomorrow. Onto a Pingle, and look, she's another one that's second up, so I've just marked them red in that column there, just to sort of get an idea of who the fitter horses should be. I thought she just blew up at Flemington. They obviously went very hard, and that's the Noble Protector race. So we know the form's strong through that. We also know that her better runs are generally been out over even further than this recently, and she's got the concussion plates on again and the race plates off. So I'm not sure what's happening there, but she's sort of one that I think we can confidently put a line through. Marksmanship, I thought he was fantastic at Bendigo in the mile race there. He came into that race off the back of 2 trials, and he fought on quite well. He only lost by 3.5 lengths, and his overall raw speed figure was very strong. And it certainly gives all the indications that this horse is ready to run quite well. He has had a trial in between also, which sort of reads pretty well. And if we go back to the spring, he's sort of been within a few lengths of the cleaner before. That whether or not, he is 7 marksmanship, and I'm not sure how old the cleaner is. He's probably about 7 as well. I'll just have a look. Yeah, he's 7 also. So it's not like these horses can just find 3 or 4 lengths when they're 7, but certainly if the cleaner's had a few little issues and hasn't quite pulled up from that run well and does feel the pinch, then certainly marksmanship, with the form around him, does look to be well in this race, I think. But just a little query is he's second up, but he has had 3 trials. On to Shoreham. Look, he's another one that's second up. He can go quite well. He obviously ran really well in the Turnbull. Last prep behind Lucia Valentina. Best sectionals of the race from back in the field. So on his day, he can run quite well, this horse. I thought that his run first up was just fair. He was beaten 5 lengths by Suavito. And, if we sort of line him up with a horse like Escardo who's in the race, I think Escardo is probably still a little bit ahead of him here. So I think Shoreham can probably run on well, but it's probably not his race either. So I think you can probably work around him. On to Backbone, who's an interesting horse, formerly trained by Mick Kent. He comes through the same race as Marksmanship. Just watching the videos, he was certainly well beaten by Marksmanship. But the horse also can improve many, many lengths when he gets out to 2,000 metres. So just sort of going back through his form, the first time he got out to 2,000 metres, he won in his second campaign. Then he got out to 1,800 in his third campaign, which is his first run beyond the mile. Or let's use that first run beyond the mile in his second preparation, he won. First run beyond the mile in his third preparation, he won. First run beyond the mile in his fourth preparation, he won. And first run beyond the mile in his fifth preparation, he won. And this will be his first run beyond the mile in his sixth preparation. He did look to have every chance at Bendigo, but just, this horse needs 2,000. That's the bottom line, and he generally needs a rock hard track also. So I think that he can probably be a good improver. We've got him around 20 to 1, and obviously it's a weird horse. So I think that he can go quite well here, and it certainly wouldn't shock me to see him running on. Currently he's around $30 to $34, and I think that it's probably not a bad little bet for a bit of an outsider. On to Ancient King. Again, he comes through the same race. He sort of was unable to really make any impression, I thought, and I'd be happy to sort of work around him and back Marksmanship and Backbone in that race ahead of him. On to Escardo, interesting horse. He won the SA Derby, and his best runs for me, on the speed side of things, he's got some very strong figures out over 2,000 metres, but for some reason, all campaign last prep he never got to 2,000, and his he's only getting there now. So he's had a funny little campaign. He resumed. I thought he hit the line well, strong sectionals. He then backed up in 7 days behind Smoke and Joey and Jacqueline O'Bay. Again, got back, hit the line very hard, very strong sectionals. Then had about a month between runs into that Suavito race. And I thought he hit the line quite well also. So I'm expecting that this horse is going to be a good improver. And I think he's well in the race here, Escardo. I think that, he hasn't won since that SA Derby, and he certainly isn't a winner, by habit, but it just appears to me that if there's any chinks in the armour of the cleaner, this horse is going to be right there. Onto the Zabillionaire. Look, he was gelded, and I think he hit the line pretty well at Bendigo. He certainly worked home well, and he certainly looks to be well in this race too. I think again, he's second up, so it just depends on how hard they're going to go, and he may well feel the pinch. But if you just want to sort of be favourable to this horse, there's enough good runs to suggest that you could make a case for him. But again, back to the theme of things. He's only going to be second up, so if the cleaner goes very, very hard, it may be difficult for those horses. Onto the Snowden horse, Sabor Triunfo. And look, this horse was beaten by Scratchy Bottom last start and Rising Romance. I think that it was a pretty fair sort of run. He was only beaten a few lengths. Although the run first up was a tough run. He was basically last all the way, but they went quite hard. And if I sort of cast my eye back to his campaign prior, he sort of had a decent win over 1900. It was only in a Class 5, but strong speed figures when he beat Black Jag. So that's certainly a fair way below this level of race. But he's sort of a horse that I think that with the drop in weight and the form through Scratchy Bottom and Rising Romance, probably can run well at odds, I think. And I guess the stable probably wouldn't send it down if they didn't think it had a chance. It's unders for me at the moment, but you can sort of make a case for it. And then onto the lucky last, and that's Post de France. And he settled behind Don Dorimo at Moonee Valley last start. They went around 20 lengths below average, so it was like a barrier trial and just a sprint home. Obviously, Don Dorimo came out and he ran quite well in the Mornington Cup last Saturday when he finished third and finished third behind Big Memory and Banker Mo, and obviously finished ahead of Axar, who's got the Australia Cup form where you get your line up through the cleaner. So, look, I think that he's not a bad horse, he's Post de France, and he's certainly always shown he's got good talent. And, he's a horse that I think will appreciate certainly a quicker tempo than he had last start. And even we sort of go through his form back to when he first landed in Australia, he's certainly always shown a little bit of promise, and is another horse that looks to enjoy hard tracks. So I think he's going pretty well, this horse, and I think he can run a race at odds. But I think if the cleaner comes to play, it's going to be very hard to beat this horse. I know he's got 59.5, but he's had the 3 weeks between runs, and that just barrier 3. We know what he's going to do. He's just going to run them along, and it's who can keep up, and then if you can keep up, can you get past? And generally, not a lot can. And he looks clearly the one to beat. We look at all these horses marked in red. I think that certainly they can win, but you just have to have a little bit of a query with them, just with the pressure of the race. And then the ones without the red who have had 2 or more runs, I'd say Escada. So I think that, we're probably looking at the cleaners the hardest to beat here, probably from Escado. And if there's horses in the red here that are able to overcome that fitness and the second up run, then certainly Sartorius is the one to beat. So that concludes our look at the Easter Cup. Happy Easter to everybody. Good punning, and I hope you find a few winners. Thank you.